Hey, I've had quite a few questions over the last few weeks, so I'm making this for my friends to clear a few things up. First and foremost, something you should know.
That your brain and major internal organs have, in fact, been infected with beard? I'm sorry, ma'am. He's more beard than man now. We are going to have to pull the plug.
You cannot catch a virus.
Oh dear, I was joking, but apparently it's true. Well, I'm looking forward to the reasoning, but I think I know how this is going to go. It's not like multiple people sent me this video on the same day because they thought it would make me happy. You want me to suffer for your amusement like a dancing monkey. And yet, I do every single time. What is wrong with me?
And why can't you catch a virus? Because it's impossible.
Alright, pack it up everyone. Beardy McGoodison here has said that catching a virus is impossible. Time to get back to it. Cause you ain't catching a thing. What? Just because he says it's impossible doesn't mean he has a single goddamn idea what he's talking about? That just doesn't sound right.
So why is it impossible to catch a virus?
Question.
A virus is alive. Is a virus a living thing?
No.
Okay, what the hell was the point of the meme stuff, dude? Seriously, you clearly think you are spreading the truth.jpg, so why would you undermine yourself like that? And I ain't about to start giving all my monies to someone else, so that crap is getting cut right the hell out. And okay, viruses aren't alive apparently. Are you going to explain why they aren't alive, or are you just going to say that they aren't and then move on like it's a fact? Oh, how I ponder these difficult questions.
So how is it that people think that you can catch something that is not alive?
Oh look, what a surprising surprise straight out of Surprise Town, USA. I mean, you're not even going to define alive, are you? So I will at least discuss the topic like a person who actually thinks about things instead of just regurgitating nonsense might. So for starters, there is not a full consensus on whether viruses are alive or not, although even those unsure probably wouldn't definitively state that they are not. It's considered a grey area. It comes down to the way in which they do certain things, like that they need a living cell in order to replicate. But the way I see it, life is kind of ambiguous anyway. Life is just a series of mechanical processes, and one day we could certainly build a machine that could meet every one of a particular definition for life's criteria, even though it's made out of non-living materials. Another thing a lot of definitions seem to leave out is evolution. Not all, obviously, but certainly some of the more popular ones. And viruses definitely evolve. They will mutate, becoming more infectious or what have you, and thus are more fit to spread. I can't think of a rock or a body of water or even a star that evolves, but I'm fairly certain there isn't a living thing that doesn't. So anyway, that's just my 2 cents. I would imagine that viruses count as life because I actually have definitions for those things and have thought about it for half a second. And you haven't. Great job.
Now I know a lot of people are genuinely concerned, so that's why I'm making this, to hopefully cure some of the unnecessary fear and stress. And if you are feeling that, it's because you're causing it for yourself.
And not because, say, people are literally dying, and that the measures to slow things down mean that people have less access to things that stop them going nuts and are generally worried about how this is all going to play out. Yeah, no, it's their own fault. You can tell this guy is a woo peddler. What's that? The stupid non-working thing I told you to do doesn't work? Well, you must have done it wrong, or didn't hope it would work hard enough, or anything other than I am a giant quack who doesn't know what they are talking about and sells nothing but completely worthless snake oil. And am a dumb.
And just so you don't think I'm sitting here making stuff up.
Would I ever accuse you of making stuff up? I resent the insinuation. I don't think you have the creativity, intelligence, or just plain capacity to make stuff up.
I'll quickly tell you my background so you know how and why I'm telling you these things.
Well, I already know that you are a woo-peddling dibdab with the approximate mental capacity of a half-dead newt, but I'm going to take a guess that it's because you are really smart, guys. So you have to believe me.
I was one of those kids that could read and write before I even started school. I knew my 1 to 12 times table before other kids even knew how to open a book.
Woo, yeah, he's smart, guys. And I had a little look up of the starting years for school in Australia, and it's 5 to 6. And depending on what exactly you mean by read and write, that's probably not as impressive as you think. Lots of kids can read and write something by the age of 5. Now, I'm sure you were trying to make it sound like you were writing novels, but I'm betting you could maybe do what many others could at that age. And
I knew my 1 to 12 times table before other kids even knew how to open a book.
well, most kids open up a book by about 4 months and immediately stick it into their gaping maw. But that still counts as opening it. So you could do your 12 times table before you were 3 months old. Yeah, sure thing, mate. And I imagine you remember being born and then you karate chopped the doctor for slapping you on the backside, killing him instantly.
I won academic scholarships at 2 expensive private schools. I did 6 years of science, which included medicine.
So you went to expensive schools, allegedly. Big whoop. Private schools are renowned for teaching confidence, or in your case, overconfidence. And 6 years of science, including medicine. It's weird how non-specific you are about that. It's almost as if 6 years of science, including medicine, is actually 6 years of unrelated sciences, and you also did a first aid course during that time. Also, you don't tell us what grades or qualifications you got, so I'm going to assume you spent 6 years doing it and failed it all.
I did 6 years of natural health and medicine.
Of course you did.
And I spent 3 years solely looking into the nature of viruses, bacteria, protozoans, fungus, and parasites.
Look, I'm not saying that one couldn't learn everything all on their own, but if you spent 6 years at an academic institution and can't bring yourself to tell us what you actually got out of it, I'm going to assume that you wouldn't fare much better on your own, would you?
And as a practitioner, I treated myself and a number of other people successfully long-term for conditions of the same.
Conditions of the same? What the hell does that mean? And again, sure you did. And it certainly wasn't that, say, you treated yourself and others for minor conditions that were not what you thought they were, because again, you don't have a clue what you are doing. Then you sprinkled magic herb water on them, and they got better. Because they were always going to get better. And you patted yourself on the back and wrote it down in your big book of smart things I've done today. Dear diary, I'm clever.
And when I did my last IQ and aptitude test, I was taken into a separate room and I was interrogated to see if I cheated.
Okay, man, you are just a parody of arrogance, aren't you? You're like something I would write as a joke for the world's best man. I am both smart and beautiful, have a ding-dong made of joy and a body that tastes like chocolate. My brain is so big, the doctors had to extend the size of my head to fit it all in. I poop money and urinate champagne. And when I was born, cancer was immediately and irrevocably cured by my mere existence. And I just want to hear that last bit again because it's so damn funny.
And when I did my last IQ and aptitude test, I was taken into a separate room and I was interrogated to see if I cheated.
Mate, A, you didn't say you didn't cheat, and B, just because you were accused of cheating doesn't mean you were doing well. They could have been like, this guy got 7 out of 100? That seems a little bit high. Did you speak to the moron? I mean, he thought that name was one of the questions and answered yes.
And more than anything, unlike Google and Facebook, I don't have vested financial interest dictating what I can say, and I don't have shares in vaccine companies.
Okay, first off, did you just give yourself a round of applause? Wow! And you don't have a vested interest in vaccine companies. Okay, but you just said...
I did 6 years of natural health and medicine, and as a practitioner, I treated myself and a number of other people.
So surely, by your own moon logic, that means you have a vested interest in natural medicine, read woo, and so we still shouldn't believe a word you say. You are the absolute poster child for the intelligence being full of doubt and the stupid being full of confidence, aren't you? I mean, even if you are as smart as you seem to think you are, and if I didn't know any better, I would swear this was a joke. It's not, unfortunately. If you were that smart, it wouldn't mean that you couldn't be wrong. And if you were as smart as you think you are, you might actually know that.
So what is a virus anyway? Well, a virus is nothing more than a solvent, and these solvents are created within the cells of the body.
Nope. A virus is a submicroscopic infectious agent that replicates only inside of living cells of an organism. Now, I don't know if what you are talking about is an actual thing that happens, but that's not relevant. The definition of what a virus is what a virus is. And what you are describing is not a virus. So I can only assume that your real claim is that viruses are not real. But hey, I didn't do 6 years of science and had some medicine in there somewhere. So what the hell do I know? I just look at what the science actually says, like the moron that I am.
This is why you cannot catch a virus. Viruses are created cellularly. Now, the body can create hundreds of thousands of different viruses at any time.
So what we refer to as viruses are an effect created by the body itself. So why isn't there a different name for that? And why do we observe the effects of infectious material that can jump from person to person in a variety of ways? All these questions and more will not be being answered by this colossal buffoon.
So why does a cell need to create a virus or a solvent?
It doesn't.
Created in response to the built-up toxicity that we have in our bodies.
Toxicity. What's the opposite of a cure-all? It's the kill-all of the body. Every single thing wrong with you, toxicity. What is toxicity? It's toxic. Duh, and toxic means bad. That's all you need to know.
So how does a cell become toxic? Well, a lot of people have spent a number of years putting
poop
in their minds,
poop
in their body.
Well, that's not where that goes. That goes in the toilet. But do explain to me one thing then. How come people who have an absolutely awful diet, and I don't know exactly what you mean by mind poop, but let's say that they watch a lot of reality TV, and then some super intellectual double vegan, how come they both can catch viruses, and those viruses for some reason tend to follow a spread pattern as if it is passed from person to person and not spontaneously created by their own bodies for no reason? Must be thetans. Or maybe it's 5G or something equally stupid. But definitely not what we can easily prove it is. How else am I supposed to have secret knowledge that makes me special if things actually work the way that they work?
A lot of people think that it's just totally fine to eat supermarket food, you microwave it, just get flu shots injected into you every year, just drink your tap water.
So you are a full-on conspiracy theorist, and I'm assuming you think microwaves are bad because radiation is bad, and you totally have any idea what radiation means. Again, it just means bad, and not the thing that you are constantly bombarded with every single second of the day. And of course you're a flirping anti-vaxxer, because again, of course you are. You're smart.
People that go after organic food are tinfoil hat wearing boogers.
Well, first, your tinfoil hat conspiracy garbage is what makes you a tinfoil hatter. But look, you want to eat organic food, fill your boots. Just don't pretend that it makes you any healthier than the rest of us. It's not magic. It's usually got way more pesticides on it, and the regulation is often so poor that almost anything can be called organic.
The thing is that nature doesn't care what you believe.
Ha! Yeah, that's right. That's kind of a nice little refutation of your own arguments there, boyo. Viruses don't exist / cannot infect you, and yet there they go, existing and infecting people left, right and centre. Your willful ignorance isn't going to protect you from them. Your organic food isn't going to protect you from them. They are part of nature, and as you said, nature doesn't care what you believe. Doubly so when what you believe is total and utter horse effluence.
You can believe that any of those things are true, but nature doesn't care what you believe.
If arrogance gave you superpowers, this guy would be the strongest man in the goddamn universe.
So a lot of people have asked me, what is a flu? Well, a flu is a viral detoxification or a cleansing.
No, it isn't. And you really shouldn't be giving out any medical advice to anyone, anywhere, ever. Even your own qualifications are the lamest excuse for a non-education I have ever heard. And you are just an ignorant, arrogant, beardy goit with a persecution complex. And I think I have had enough of you to last me a lifetime. Although I'm pretty sure you are going to turn up again at some point, and it'll be too soon and too funny. Guys, don't forget to panic buy Sick Brand merch. What if you need to let people know that you are handsome, famous and good at the sex in a variety of tasteful colours? Buy as many as you can afford now before this thing that's printed to order runs out. Also, you can use it as toilet paper if needs be. You never know when you're going to need to wipe your arse.